Hello and welcome to the channel. If you are new here, this is where we look at all things spirituality and tarot. If you're into readings, particularly celebrity readings, you're absolutely in the right place. Today we are delving into the energies around KimPorter in light of the Diddy trial. So Diddy currently stands accused of a number of allegations around RICO, trafficking, a lot of very dark accusations against him, and he is at trial at the moment. Kim is his former partner who he had a number of children with. She's been implicit in the trial. We've heard reference to her a couple of times, but Kim did pass on in, I think it was 2018 or around there. So we're not able to get Kim's side of the story at the moment, but it feels important just to tap into the energies around her as respectfully as possible and see what her experiences with Diddy might have been and how she would feel about the trial as it stands. I was really reluctant to look at the Diddy trial because I think there's a lot of darkness around the energies here, but when we look at these types of things that play out on a world stage, there's absolutely huge collective significance to them. So there's a lot that we can learn about the energies that are playing out right now on planet Earth, regardless of whether you are just an ordinary person or you're connected in an industry like this. You know, Diddy's accessed a lot of evil, it sounds like, and the people around him have enabled it, and there's a lot to learn from that. So this has been a little bit of a tricky one, even just to tap into. I'm feeling really inclined to bring through Kim specifically, but I've been trying to do this reading for an hour now. I set my phone down right before I started, and the screen turned to a clock, a radial type clock, and was ticking, which is very, very strange. And my phone's on Do Not Disturb. I've been interrupted 3 times despite that. So there's definitely something strange here around time, around the idea of interruption and these energies that we see around Kim. I'm also being drawn a little bit to, I think there's a song that Nicki Minaj raps on where she talks about the time's up, and I don't know the name of the song. I think it's with Jason Derulo, so if anyone knows that, can you please pop it in? But there's something in that song, or the lyrics from Nicki Minaj in that song, that feel kind of relevant to this discussion that we're going to tap into around KimPorter. Just important to remember, this is all alleged for entertainment purposes only, and let's get into it. So I want to start by just initially connecting in with Kim's energy and seeing from the tarot maybe an idea of her energy towards Diddy and her experiences with Diddy. If you don't already know, there have been a lot of accusations coming from different people around Diddy, and people like Jamie Foxx, some other connected people in the industry, that Diddy apparently, allegedly, is known to poison people with a specific chemical, and it can be easily masked and look like pneumonia. And this is what KimPorter seemingly died of, pneumonia. So it's interesting, that might inflect a little bit on the reading. And we're seeing here kind of like an initial card around justice. So I think this is overdue. What's happening at the moment with Diddy is overdue. So we're seeing also here things like the King of Pentacles, Ace of Swords here, the Six of Wands. She's presenting an impression to me of Diddy's connections, his power, his finances, and it's kind of obvious anyway, just making him feel like he was above meeting the truth in this situation, right? He's maybe always been able to buy his way out of anything, any accusation here. We see Six of Wands in the negative aspect. That can be pride, or a sense of being superior. And to me, it feels like he thought he was so superior and so well connected that he wasn't likely to experience any kind of repercussions for the things that he's done. There's a few decks actually I'd like to draw from, so I just want to see her initial energies from this deck as well. It's more of an oracle deck. So we've got Hooked as a card, and your light irritates their demons. And this makes a lot of sense when we think about Diddy. We think about his relationship with Cassie, his relationship with Kim. We're seeing someone here who has a lot of power, has a lot of control, seems to be into some very dark things that I don't know that we'll get fully into here, but I think it's fair to say that he has a very, very dark side to him from the things that we've heard. People like that are sometimes drawn to people who hold light, people who are kind and generous and a gift to the world. And what has happened here, I think in some of his relationships, he's been drawn to people who have traits of empathy, people like Kim, who are probably inherently good people and are here on the earth plane to shine that light, and he's gone in and he's kind of corrupted something or someone who is meant to be on this path of maybe more of a light worker, or maybe someone who shines light or brings joy to the world. So it's irritating to Diddy if he cannot corrupt these people. So I'm going to pull through Kim's thoughts on what's happening with Diddy at the moment in the court case. Again, these cards here in particular. So we've got the Queen of Swords. So there is justice coming to him here. He definitely thought he was above this. But what I'm interested to see here is we have both the sun and the moon coming through together. And so it really emulates what we just said, where there's light and there's darkness here, right? There's also masculine and feminine here. So Diddy is someone here that we see who has this counterbalance of good people, and he's being drawn into them. And this is where the downfall has come over and over again with him. So what's going on with the court case? A little bit more detail. I mean, she definitely feels like this is slow, right? It was always meant to come to light. This is justice being done, but it's not been rash. It hasn't come about as quickly as she would have liked. It's, represented by the Knight of Pentacles here, so very slow moving energy. There's a King of Wands here, and an Emperor. So there is a kind of pivotal fire sign in here. I don't know the prosecutors, these key lawyers in this trial, who they might be, or who if they would kind of relate to those fire sign energies of Leo, Sag, and Aries. But I do see someone in here that might be represented by those. Can I get a little bit of clarity on that, please? This does feel like someone that's bringing it into balance, actually. So there is someone working on this case or working in the background in this case. It could even be someone who's bringing this, like on the FBI side, bringing it into being, someone that wanted Diddy to have his day in court, someone that was really felt that there was a huge injustice, particularly in the way that he was treating women, I think, and they have been really single-minded on bringing him to court. There are other people in the mix here that aren't satisfied with this. They do feel like friends, contacts, connections, network, maybe industry connections, many of whom who have not been brought to justice at this stage. These people are watching this right now and they are feeling anxious about where they're sitting at. There is kind of a sense from Kim that there were enablers of Diddy, not even just, so there are the enablers, and there are also people who are as notable as him in the industry, or maybe even more powerful, but on a similar kind of level, like names that are known, or known if you're in the industry, that hold a lot of clout, who are also implicated and also guilty, and her desire is for all of them to be brought to justice. And so confirmation really here. So we've got the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune. He's been manipulative for a long time, and that control, that ability, I think there's a lot of charisma with him. That has come to an end with this Death card, right? And it's probably something that she on the other side has worked on. Again, like Page of Swords here. So she's watched this. If you believe that she can see things on the other side, she's absolutely watched this come into being. There's a Queen of Wands here. Is she a Sagittarius? I think she is. So that's just, I think we see the Queen of Wands seems to represent her, represent Kim. I want to delve a bit more into kind of her thoughts towards Diddy in this case. So her sense is the case has to be built very, very solidly. She's also telling us that this is kind of prolific in the industry, right? A lot of people are involved in this, and there's a lot of confusion because of how many people are involved. I also want to say that Diddy has been involved in so many different things, maybe not even everything that's coming to the forefront in this trial. There might be other things that they could potentially accuse him of, that they don't have enough of this foundation, this Three of Pentacles. It's not solid enough for them to bring those accusations against him. So it does feel like it's a little bit the tip of the iceberg what he's being brought up for here. There might be those prosecutors working in the background to try and make other more concrete accusations. He's stressed out about this, I will tell you that. I think he knows that there could be much more to come. What can Kim tell us that we don't already know around this? This is alleged, but I would be inclined to say that her not being here anymore benefited P. Diddy at the time. I won't say more than that, but it just feels like her becoming unwell was successful for him. And I can feel she's really stressing, you know, this like chestiness or this inability to breathe. What might we want to say on this? Again, this might come to light. It's this confusion around what happened to her at this point in time. But there's still possibility for this to be better understood. I can see the Ten of Pentacles here. I wouldn't be surprised, and the Six of Cups. Someone from her past or a member of her family might actually work in the background to get a better understanding of what happened to her. Yeah, they would be strategizing on this, maybe even already. I want to say they put something out there, or somebody here is in the midst of all of this, thinking about Kim and thinking about what happened to Kim and how to get a better, something more concrete. Again, it might be that thing that we're coming back to. We're seeing there's confusion, and doesn't mean there's nothing there, but it's just not concrete enough right now to make an accusation or to say something about. What else do we want? Can we learn from this? Okay, so we're seeing a King of Wands, a Queen of Wands, and I think Kim is a Sagittarius female. We're also seeing that up against a King of Cups. Diddy is a King of Cups. Diddy is a Scorpio male, so we would expect to see the Death card or the King of Cups as a reference. There's things here that aren't even on the table that he is stressed out about. Maybe what's sitting in front of him in that courtroom isn't the worst thing that he's done by a long shot. And that other stuff is kind of sitting with him. This reading doesn't have a lot of order to it. Sorry, I'm just kind of going where the cards take me for the moment. I want to look. There's definitely a loss here, like a loss of something meaningful to Kim. And it sits with her as a burden. I kind of want to look at maybe this being connected in with her children. So just what are Kim's feelings towards her children right now? She's absolutely present with them. So she's seen this all come to pass. She's very, very present with them. I keep seeing this King of Wands. If anybody knows who the King of Wands is, please do tell me. What's coming in then with the children, please? The things around, there might be some challenges around finances actually for the kids, or something about their position that they're less than dissatisfied with. Can I just get a bit more detail on this? I want to say some of the children are actually feeling pretty stressed right now. I do think there is probably one of the boys who's a lot like his father. We're getting this in the reverse, so the 5 of Wands in the reverse. So conflict here. Can we look a bit more? They're definitely putting on a united front. I don't know if that's what it's really looking like for the kids behind the scenes. I would say in some ways kind of their connection to each other is like, for some of them it's souring a little bit. Some defensiveness, maybe defensiveness to Diddy here. I really do feel like one of the sons is a lot like Diddy. What can we expect from the children? I think we will see like a fragmenting of them. I don't think they're all going to be like on bad terms with each other, but I do think maybe they're going to have different perspectives on what's going on with their father, and it will bring up conflict between them. Maybe the girls are more likely to sort of side with each other. Whatever goes on with these kids, Diddy's still in their ear right now. That might not last though. So we're actually seeing 10 of Swords here, the Tower card in longer term. I just want to see what else is coming through kind of intuitively. Okay, what she really needs to say about this trial and about what's coming in with Diddy. There are more secrets here. There are more secrets connected with a man who's very close to Diddy. A King of Pentacles here. This doesn't feel like someone on the trial. This feels like someone who's around Diddy, has been around him for a long time. A King of Pentacles, I want to say Virgo, a Taurus, or Capricorn, male or man who is very financially blessed, shall we say. This might come out, or there might be whisperings about this, I want to say at this stage. This is someone, I'm hearing money talks, right? This is someone who might actually be able to kind of make some of these allegations go away. But I do think there's a lot more to learn. Let me draw a little bit further. Can we talk about this King of Pentacles, please? What's that to do with things? Someone's going to want to distance themselves from it, but also I think there could be other names that Diddy would like to use to distance himself, like avert attention in the public sphere. Because if he brings up the right names and detracts attention from himself a little bit, then shifts the narrative, right? So if Diddy were to take the stand, and I don't know if he will use that as an opportunity to create conflict. In fact, anyone that is being cross-examined or is put forward to testify by his side will probably be done intentionally, destructively. So I think Diddy is someone who wants to create maximum carnage around him. If he's going down, other people should feel that pain as well, right? So if he has an opportunity to say something or to imply something, then he will do it to get at those that he wants, right? So accusers, he probably also has people on the outside. And again, allegedly, this is not, none of this is facts. But certainly he still holds a degree of power from within there because he has that network that we keep seeing. And again, sort of implicit here, we are seeing like cards like the Nine of Cups over and over again. We're seeing the Ace of Pentacles over and over again. So the money is still talking, I would say. Maybe not for everybody though. But we've got, with the Page of Swords here, he is watching all of the time, right? And believe me, when he is calculating, when he's in that cell and he's on his own, he's reflecting on everything. He's very considerate, and when he's speaking to these lawyers, when he's speaking to anyone, he's always, I want to say he is incredibly astute actually in a lot of ways, and he wants to present himself as that. So he's going to be careful in what he says. He's reading the room, he's reading people all of the time, right? This is probably why we see this light and dark coming through. So we're looking and you know, your light irritates the demons, or the moon versus the sun, right? This is someone, because he has this ability to navigate situations and understand people, and he's watching you and understanding you from a psychological perspective. There's a lot of information that he gets from that. And so he still will manipulate, even in these conversations that he's having with his defense attorneys, like he's trying to influence them to sort of present things the way that he wants on the stand as well. When we see these witnesses testify, he will be there. He'll be taking like mental notes of every nuance that they are making, what's implicit, what's explicit. I think he is, in some ways, good at reading people, let's put it that way. So we are seeing with this, like the Empress in reverse, it's probably indicating Kim really is the mother of his children. And the things that are coming to Diddy are in part because of what's happened to Kim and the ways that there has been injustice against her that he's never been held to account for. And we're seeing this real dark side in the deck now, actually. So the devil, that's toxicity, that's sex, that's the occult, that's all of these things that we're seeing play out, like the toxicity, the malevolence, the evil we're seeing in the court, this Five of Pentacles. So in a way, it just felt for a long time that Kim's voice wasn't heard and that it never would be. And then we see her come through as this like Nine of Cups, this wish fulfilled, like all the heartbreak that she went through over him because he traumatized her for sure. Mainly things with the children were devastating for her. And so now, kind of through this court case, we are seeing him being held to account for some of what he has done. I wouldn't say it's nearly all of it, but and that network keeps coming through, right? But again, with the Hermit, the darkness really is coming to light. This is, you know, this is something that's been hidden, and it's come into this kind of crisis moment with the Tower here. I just want some kind of final reflections on anything Kim really wants to say here. I haven't looked at the outcome of the trial. Maybe that's something to do in a separate reading. I just, at this point, I didn't want to delve too deep into the energies because there's a lot of evil, I think, playing out in this court case, and it goes a lot deeper than we even know. Kim actually feels the end of this reading triumphant. And there's maybe like a sense of pride here actually at what Cassie's been able to do. Because we see here the Lover's card, so that can be, you know, choices in love, and Cassie was probably that for Kim at one point. And we're seeing Cassie come through as Queen of Pentacles, so very earthy energy here. Almost like a Virgo type energy, right? And with Virgo, I suppose Virgo with that, and also the Hermit card would indicate Virgo energies. So someone who's measured and being able to hold him to account in this sort of measured way. Anything else? Oh. So she's showing us Diddy as someone who's kind of stardom has fallen now. He is going to be on the outs here. It's a huge shift for him. So my camera did pack up there actually. Don't know why. There's no reason it should have done. But I was just wrapping that up and saying that at this stage, Diddy's star has very much been reversed, and there are other people there who maybe were watching for a long time, knowing what he was like. There's a lot that he has kind of put out there with this case, and he probably still hopes that will pan out in his favor. I'm not really sure that it will here, but I will say he's doing everything he can, and he's doing everything he can, you know, financially, in terms of favors, control, all of that. He's putting it all out there to try and get the result that he wants from this case. I'll just pull a last couple of cards from Kim then, anything final, and then I'll wrap it up, because I think it's been a strange reading and I've been interrupted a few times here. So she's bringing us back again to this idea of stardom. I think that's not just Diddy related. I think this is in general, these people that we put on pedestals here. What's happening with Diddy is teaching us a lot more generally around the concept of celebrity, the ways in which people take advantage of that. There's a lot of lessons to be learned when we see this play out on the world stage. There are lessons for all of us in this, and it just shows the idea of corruption, of abuse of power. We've seen this play out a number of times in recent years. So we have seen the Weinstein case, we have seen the Epstein case, we've seen scenarios with men who have a massive amount of influence and affluence be tried to held to account and perhaps not receive the level of justice that they really do deserve. The time of truth seeking and truth speaking. The people that we should be upholding are those people who are not afraid to stand up for justice, to stand up for women, for children, for anybody that's disadvantaged. And this is not really what's been represented to us in the world of celebrity for a long time. This video, for whatever reason, keeps clapping out on me. It's really strange. So it feels like maybe this message, there was something not wanting it to get out there. So I hope it did make sense. It might be a little bit choppy in places where I've been interrupted. Please do like, share and subscribe, and pop in the comments anything that you would like me to read on. And just a reminder, this is all entertainment and alleged for entertainment purposes only. See you next time.